So we just got back from Nordstrom Rack and we found this company called Dash, and they make some pretty cool like mini appliances. So we found a little popcorn popper, air popper, and a super tiny little waffle maker. So perfect for the boat. So I'm gonna try the little popcorn maker out and see how it works. They also had it in a different air fryer. This is the air fryer we currently have. And it's about the same width, it's just a lot taller. So we actually were looking at that because it might fit up where we usually keep this one stored when we're not using it. So it could be a option because it has a much larger area in here. It's about this tall or so. Well, it actually made quite a bit of popcorn. We got one decently sized bowl, a small bowl, and still the rest that's in the actual unit itself. And that goes down to about here. So,
Why are you pressing me?
Oh, it's a little top heavy. It's been quite a while since the original filter was put into our plastic microfiber filter on the back there. So if I had to estimate, it's probably been about 20 to 30 washes. The instructions state that they recommend that you change it out every 20 or so. Now this is a smaller washer, so that's why I'm kind of went a little bit over 20 probably, if I had to estimate. But with that, let's go ahead and see how it looks. All right, so to start, let's get some towels just in case we're leaking a bit. And let's grab a bag. All right, so this is gonna be interesting. Let's go ahead and climb up here and just put the towel down there. There we go. Probably a little bit better. We can actually scoot this outward slightly so we have a little better leverage here. And pull this fella down. There's a bunch of water in there. All right, let's see what we got. And I can see a decent amount of fiber that has been captured inside the filter. So you can see how there's some darker and lighter spots, and the darker spots are where the fabric has been captured, essentially inside the filter. So you can see the fiber has been captured in there. So you can see all those little dark spots. So the fiber essentially gets captured on the inside of this filter unit. And then what comes out through the fine mesh in there is relatively clean water that no longer has plastic fibers in it. It is a little bit stinky, but doesn't smell too bad, surprisingly. We have been, the hose out there has smelled a little funky a couple times when the water first comes out of it, but that could be from standing water in the hose rather than the actual filtration unit itself. So I would call this a success. Cool. So they have a full recycling program, which is pretty sweet. So you basically, when you purchase it and pay for it, you're essentially paying for the return recycling. So what they do is you ship it back once it dries out, of course, and you ship it back to them. They disassemble it, properly dispose of the plastic microfibers inside it, and actually repurpose / recycle the entire housing as well. So pretty cool. So go ahead and dump this out. And that is the cleaned filtered water. You can see down in there. No, didn't smell at all. Cool. All right. So pretty straightforward there. So let's go ahead and pop the next guy on, and we'll be back to a brand new filter. Okay, so we put the new filter in there. Basically just press it down, and then the nozzle will go in there as we screw this back on to the filtration housing. So let's go ahead and do that. Should be pretty straightforward. And of course, don't forget your gasket, which I forgot the first time, but that looks good. And best of all, we didn't even need the towel. All right, nice and tight, and we are back in business. So it's nice and tight on there. This actually has been holding up pretty well here with the sticky pad that you can see there. Wasn't expecting it to be able to withstand the vibrations, but holds up really well. And you can see I still have not put the back on, and I haven't relocated this since it was actually working pretty well. So just go ahead and get this recentered, and we are now back and ready to do another load of laundry. And the ocean has many less microfibers than it would have had in there previously. So pretty excited about it, and definitely a big fan. So if you're interested in setting one up yourself, I'll put a link in the description. I don't have any, referral. I don't make any money off of it or anything. I just think it's a really neat product, and I think it's definitely beneficial to the ocean and the environment overall. Woo-wee! First warm day.
It is. Well, it's not the first warm day.
Well, I guess, yeah, yesterday was the first warm day we've had in a long time, right?
Yeah.
So we are back in action. It's about...
People are wearing short sleeves.
What's up?
People are wearing short sleeves.
Hey, look at that.
They're not gonna wave to you.
Yeah, we got a bunch of kayakers out. Gonna head down towards Ego Alley a bit.
Yeah.
So we're looking at temperatures of, I think, about 53 today. Highs around 4 p.m. Right now it's 2 p.m. for reference. And we're looking at probably around currently 8 to 10 knots, slowing down to around 5 to 8 around 4 p.m. So high's going to be at 4 actually, so I'm going to get some warmer temps slightly. Pretty nice day. We got a little bit of cloud cover, but not too much. A little sun peeking in and out. Engine started up marvelously thanks to our trusty engine starter, Sid. Just checked all the oils, both the actual engine oil as well as the transmission fluid / lubrication. Cleaned out the sea strainer, and everything started up flawlessly. So first time we probably started it in what, 4 months, 3 months?
Probably.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think since Jake got here. I think that was the last time we took it out. We've just had a lot of shitty weather from a temperature perspective and weather perspective on the weekends. Even if it's like, kind of cool and sunny out, it's still fine, but we've had a lot of rain and snow on the weekends and stuff. We're taking advantage of it. Where are we going? Going to Bahamas?
In a circle.
Going to Bahamas?
Not yet.
We got enough food?
No.
Filled up the water tanks.
That's true.
Oh, and we got our first pump out in 3 weeks.
That's okay.
Because the weather's been so bad on Saturdays that we haven't been able to pump. The pump out boat wasn't operating because we've had like gale warnings on all these past weekends. So, and look, and there's people actually out at Pussers too, outdoors. Nice, nice. All right, so we're about 30 minutes now into our autopilot calibration. It's supposed to take about 2 turns, full 360 turns, going less than 2 knots. And they're supposed to go at a minimum of 3 minutes per turn. And we are now on turn 4. So we've been averaging about 6 minutes or so, I think, per turn. 8 minutes per turn, whatever that is. And we still have not received any notice that it is properly calibrating. We are now at 26 minutes, so I guess we'll keep at it for a little bit longer, but Sid is attempting to do some research online, see when it's going to be ready. It'd be nice if it had a status bar on it, so then at least you would be able to tell how much time you had left until it was calibrated. So we're just slowly circling around here. If anyone's watching us, they probably wonder what the hell we're doing. Uh-oh! Dance party!
That's too funny.
How's it going, everyone? We're out here, it's a Saturday afternoon, and it is a super windy day out. Unfortunately, too windy and too cold to take the boat out. So I'm experimenting with the horizon leveling setting on the camera, which I believe should essentially show the heel of the boat as we're rocking in the dock due to the wind. So we'll see how it turns out once I actually look at it. But for today, we just have a couple of basic little projects. I got a new party light here, the Mini Quinta by Chauvet, or however you pronounce that. I assume it's French. So what we're gonna do is mount that up over above Sid's head over there, next to the speaker in the doorway. So we got that, and I got some cabling for it, and we also got some stainless steel handles, which one of these I'm going to mount on the wooden piling as we get off the dock, so that we have something to grab onto that's, you know, nice and sturdy as we get off the dock.
Can we also do my thing here?
Yeah, we can put your cover up. You do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I'll let the camera go for a bit and curious to see what it looks like with the heel. And we do have a little meter here, so it looks like we're about 3 degrees, maybe 4 degrees currently. So not a ton, but it has it hitting up probably towards 8 or 9 under some of the really heavy winds. So. Okay, well, this is the bracket for the DJ light, and what I did was I drilled 2 holes because originally there was only one, which would not be enough, in my opinion, to support the light, because that probably would allow it to swivel. So unfortunately they're not super even, but what I'm going to do is level the bracket on the wall, draw the dots there, and ensure that the bracket itself is level, even though unfortunately the holes are not, since the drill bit slid a little bit on the metal before it started to actually drill through. All right, the light's looking pretty good. We're gonna have to wait till night though to see what it looks like. We have held it up here to see, kind of get a good feeling for how the light's looking. It looks pretty good in this position because it basically is able to bounce and reflect out to pretty much the entire boat from this viewpoint. So this is basically the light's viewpoint if I put the camera up right next to it. So should be pretty solid. Plus we can lower it and raise it and tilt it up if we need to. And it even has a little IR receiver for a little remote too, so we can change it from the remote, or there's some buttons on the back that I can tilt it up and then press those to adjust them. So pretty good. And I got a little right angle, oh, it's sneezing. I got a little right angle power cord here, which runs the power cable to the left, and then we'll hook it in eventually down there on the power strip.
Hello. So it is the morning after a very fun night out with friends, and I was trying to make popcorn, and I guess too many things were plugged in, and some wires melted and caught on fire. So we had some smoke in here, which, you know, told us something was wrong, and the breaker slipped and wouldn't turn back on. So Ryan is out here see if I can go get him. It's actually like right behind where the things plug in. I'm vlogging for you. I don't know how to turn this around. So there we go. So he's in here. I was telling them how I was trying to make popcorn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the connection's just completely melted. So you can see him there. I don't know, it's weird. Both hot lines, both on the incoming from the power inlet up there, and the outgoing into the boat, the hot line's fried on both sides. I don't know what the hell happened and why the breaker didn't flip. And we weren't pulling excess power. We were probably about, I mean, 3,000 watts, but I mean, it's not enough to really cause this. Maybe the connections were just bad. I don't know, but the fact that both of them fried at the same time makes me believe that it was excess power draw, and for some reason the breaker didn't flip. We're making some pretty decent progress. You can see this is the charred wire. So you can see there, definitely got a little too hot. So I got the connectors up on the wires out back, and I'm going to finally get them all connected back up to the breaker, and then we should be good to go. I did have to cut back the wire quite a bit, since you can see, even though I cut it back, you know, about this much, I had to go a little bit further because there was some corrosion on the hot lead right there, the black one, probably about 6 inches back from where it started. So I'm not sure if that occurred during this melting process, or if it had slowly just gotten corroded over time. But we got nice shiny wires. I actually didn't have to use that coiled up 10 gauge wire. I basically just cut back the existing wires, probably about 6 inches. Luckily there was a lot of slack there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those connectors on, like I said, and then we should be pretty much good to go, and we'll have power back on our A bus right now. Here's the project currently. So you can see I actually took the entire socket out. That way I can access the cabling a lot easier rather than having to crawl in there. And this is my seat, which has now been turned into a lounge pillow for me to lay on while I work. And you can see the recent work in there. So I've got, this is the cable here. Hopefully it's not too close to the camera, but this is the cable that I cut down about 6 inches, and already got the connectors on. So I'm using some nice anchor connectors. So just gotta feed the other socket back through and get the wires connected. I think I'm also gonna sand down the terminals on that breaker, since they are a little bit charred, and hopefully the breaker itself still works. Probably gonna purchase a replacement just to be on the safe side, since it did go through some of an experience today. But for the time being, I'm going to have to use it, unfortunately, since I don't have a replacement breaker on hand right now.